Hell no.
I didn't want to do my hair today and I forgot to take my shirts out of the dryer last night. Don't act like you haven't been there, okay? Get off your high horse. And I'm leaving the fan on. It's too hot. If you can hear it over the background music, then that's your problem. The weather's crazy, okay? I gotta be prepared to battle these elements. A flash flood could happen right now and I wouldn't get a warning because billionaires needed more tax cuts apparently. You know, when it comes down to it, communities and fandoms are just a place you go to fight with people that like the same thing you do. If you're part of the guitar community, you'll know there's no shortage of arguments. Yes, just like your parents, we fight all the time over the goofiest things imaginable, and sometimes it goes a little too far. But you guys don't understand. Deep down, we love each other. Whether it's about tone wood, pickups, body shape, neck shape, how you set up a guitar, how you string a guitar, how you clean a guitar, how you play a guitar, where a guitar is made, whether or not that guitar should have a pick guard. The guitar community relentlessly bickers with itself, and I'm sure it will continue to do so until the sun dies. But there is one topic that seems to get people just a bit more worked up than all the rest, and that topic is aged and relic'd guitars. What is up, all you rambunctious relicking rodents? Den here. Now, what is a relic'd guitar? Well, to answer that, we gotta go back in time to the first few decades of electric guitar's existence. And things were different back then. Women barely had rights, people of color were openly mistreated, gay people were ostracized and abused, there was civil unrest over injustices and wars that shouldn't be happening. You know what, maybe it's actually not all that different. But back then, most guitars were finished with this beautiful thing known as nitrocellulose lacquer. A soft, breathable clear coat that was thought to keep the finish safe without suffocating the guitar's sustain and resonance. It's also hilariously bad for you to breathe this stuff in, so applying it is actually quite dangerous if you're not careful. I've used nitro lacquer before, and it smells like it's giving you stage 4 cancer. However, as the years went on and these guitars were exposed to the elements, various things came to light. For starters, turns out nitro wasn't UV resistant at all, so too much sun exposure would alter the finish of your guitar. Another thing that altered the finish of your guitar was tobacco exposure. And everybody was chuffing fat darts back then. Playing one too many smoky bars and your sunburst Les Paul would blacken almost quicker than your lungs, creating the tobacco burst finish. Too much tobacco and or sun exposure would turn your white guitar into a yellow guitar. Isn't that fun? And this is with the guitar just sitting there. Depending on how much you actually played that guitar, a whole other can of worms would open up. If you were a touring musician or if your guitar experienced rapid changes in temperature, that nitro finish would start cracking. It's like your guitar's finish was a fresh sheet of meth in Breaking Bad, and Mother Nature was Walter Jesse standing above it with their tiny little hammers just going boop, Jesse, we have to crack this finish. Yeah, the cork sniffers like to call that finish checking. It does look pretty damn cool, I can't lie. But that's not the worst of it. You see, nitro lacquer didn't end up being quite as durable as people initially thought. Because depending on how often you played that guitar, it wasn't exactly uncommon for you to rub through the finish down to the bare wood in certain areas after a while. Now, this was all dependent on how hard you actually played and how gentle you were with your guitar overall. Some people had a very soft hand, and they would clean the guitar every time before gently putting it back into its case, resulting in only small amounts of wear and tear over the years and maybe a little bit of checking here and there. But other people had very heavy hands, wore tons of rings, and big pointy belt buckles that would grind against the back of the guitar while they tossed it around like it was your mom, before yeeting it back into its case while it was still all sweaty and gross, banging it against everything possible on the way there, resulting in guitars that looked like they fought in Vietnam. And when an artist becomes famous, chances are their guitar is going to reach some levels of fame as well. And that means some of the most famous guitars in existence are also some of the most beat guitars in existence. And I'm not positive, but I would guesstimate that it was around the 90s to 2000s is when people started saying they actually love the way these guitars look when they're beat to hell. However, it usually takes many, many years of playing one guitar day in and day out to achieve that look. Unless you're Slash. I don't know how he does it, but he can take a brand new guitar and he can make it look like it was played every single day for 50 years. within like 3 months. It's crazy. That guy must have the grip strength of a crocodile jaw and sweat that melts nitro. However, once it started gaining popularity, a lot of people really didn't want to wait that long to get that beat up look. So they started wailing on their brand new guitars with hammers, screwdrivers, chisels, and sandpaper. And this practice became known as relicing your guitar. But by the time this started happening, most guitars weren't actually being finished with nitro anymore. Most brands had moved on to using a thick layer of urethane lacquer as clear coat to try and stop their guitars from aging. I mean, it worked because they were basically encasing their guitars in plastic, and they still do that to this day because it's more durable and it's also faster than nitro. Nowadays, if a guitar does come with a nitro finish, it usually comes at quite the premium just because of how long nitro takes to cure. But because of that change, a lot of these early attempts at relic guitars didn't really look like they were 50 years old. Instead, they looked like a brand new guitar that someone went to town on with every tool in their garage. However, this practice would grow and evolve as time went on. People would learn that relic guitars really needed a nitro finish in order to look right, and people started to notice patterns in how guitars age and wear over time, like how your forearm will rub away the finish where it rests over time, or how a belt buckle can absolutely obliterate the finish on the upper back of a guitar, or how you can tell exactly where someone loved to play based off of the wear they left on the fretboard. People started learning these patterns and how to replicate them, and over time, relicing guitars evolved into its own form of art in a way. It's gotten to the point to where for a while now, brands like Gibson and Fender have people making custom shop relic'd guitars for thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. Now me personally, I like relic'd and aged guitars. I think they're rad, whether it happens artificially or not. I genuinely could not care less. I personally am of the opinion that Stratocasters don't look good unless they're beat to hell. The only clean Strat I give a pass to is Jimi Hendrix's white Strat. All the other Strats that are like brand new, they just look too boring to me. But once they get beat to hell and gain some personality, then they look sick. However, while I like relic guitars, a lot of people do not, and they will not hesitate to tell you. They act like it's a crime against God to have a relic'd or aged guitar. Some old geezers will bully you relentlessly for it and act like you're the dumbest motherfucker alive for liking aged or relic guitars. These dudes will have a full-blown aneurysm if they even hear the word relic. They'll quickly transform into some weird attempt at a drill sergeant. They'll be like, no, you have to dedicate the next 40 years of your life to relentlessly playing that one guitar as often as you physically can if you want to earn that look. And I think that is a pretty silly thing to unironically tell someone. For starters, that is a pretty unreasonable thing to ask of most people. Like, let's be real here. The idea that you have to earn the right to have a guitar that looks the way you want it to look is viciously corny, in my opinion. There ain't no rules here. Stop trying to make up stupid ones, you goober. I doubt most of these dudes could tell a difference between an actually aged guitar and a relic'd guitar if it's done right. I am of the opinion that you can do whatever the hell you want to with your own guitar, because guess what? It's your own guitar. Most of these guys also poop their entire pants when someone just mods their guitar, so This is my Gibson Les Paul Studio, and I've owned it for about 11 years now. And a lot of these studios come with a really thin finish, so they age pretty quickly. But out of all the aging on this guitar, can you guys tell which is real and which is artificial? I'll let you guys take a wild guess in the comments. But me defending relic guitars doesn't mean all relic guitars are created equal. For starters, it only looks right if the wear looks authentic. If you just start scratching up your guitar with reckless abandon, probably not gonna look that good. Nowadays, there are a lot of these Amazon brands that sell really affordable relic guitars. But a lot of these don't actually really look like an old beat up guitar. They just use a template template so certain parts of the guitars don't get painted, but it does somewhat put you in the ballpark of that look. I will, however, say that over time, it seems like these more affordable relic guitars are getting better at actually looking like old guitars. Fender also has the Road Worn series, which is one of their made in Mexico guitars that is sprayed with a nitro finish, and then the workers have a template to relic the guitar. And a lot of those actually look pretty good, plus they're nitro, so if you wanted to age them further, you could do that yourself. Charvel also has a few relic models too, and you can get these guitars anywhere from like 800, 900 bucks used, going all the way up to some of these like signature heavy relic models that can go all the way up to about $2,000. And then of course there's the ridiculously priced Gibson Murphy Lab and Fender Custom Shop relic guitars. Now don't get me wrong, I know these guitars are meticulously hand aged by a single person, and I doubt that happens overnight. And I know they don't just want these to look like an old guitar, but they want them to feel like an old guitar also. I understand. I get what they're trying to do. And I think getting to relic guitars for a living would be one of the funnest fucking jobs in existence. I'm pretty jealous of everyone who has that gig, honestly. All that being said, the prices on these guitars are fucking stupid. I can appreciate the artistry. I really can. Trust me, I'm not trying to downplay that whatsoever. But that price is a tall hurdle to get over when you're selling a brand new guitar that was artificially beat up on purpose. Especially when one of my favorite things about relic guitars is actually relicing them myself. I like the challenge of trying to make your guitar look and feel tastefully old. That's literally like half the appeal of relic guitars for me. Whether it be naturally over time or me sitting there with an X-Acto knife and some sandpaper. I like being the one that's doing the relicing and the aging because it's so goddamn fun, guys. Like, I don't think you get it. So if you want a relic guitar, but you don't want to wait 30 years and you aren't a trust fund baby, what are your options? You can go with one of the affordable relic guitars to see if that's going to be enough for you. Or you could invest a little bit more and get one of these road-worn Fenders, or maybe even like a used Gibson Les Paul Studio. A lot of them go for like 800, 900 bucks used. You could get it yourself. It might already be a little bit aged. That way you could actually age it yourself, whether it be you just playing it over time or trying to learn some artificial relicing skills of your own. My biggest advice for that: take it slow, man. Just trust me. Just do it bit by bit, little by little. I'm also pretty sure that a lot of Gibsons can come with a nitro finish. And they don't just make Les Paul Gibsons. They make like Strat Gibsons and Tele Gibsons too. Stribsons and Tilibsons, if you will. I'm not telling you to go that route, but I am saying that that route exists. If you're a tinkerer, you could also just buy a kit guitar and some nitro lacquer and just do it all yourself. Just please be aware that nitro lacquer is a time-consuming priss of a finish, and it can also kill you, so please use a respirator if you're gonna go this route. It is not my fault if you accidentally off yourself with that death dust. I gave you plenty of warnings. But hey, if you are one of the people that don't like relic guitars, then guess what? That's perfectly fine. Just don't be such a fucking buzzkill, man. Some of you guys are like Buzz Killington out here trying to kill the vibe for everyone else. I don't know why relic guitar haters feel so justified in being a turbo asshole to the people that like them. It just reeks of termite dick, elitist old fart energy. They'd be like, oh, I don't like something, so I'm gonna try my hardest to ruin it for everyone else. Like, that's why your wife left you, Martin. Stop being such a Debbie Downer, man. If it's not your thing, that's completely understandable, but I don't understand going out of your way to try and ruin it for someone else if it is their thing. It's so goofy. What does Phil McKnight say? Don't yuck someone else's yum? It's a good saying. Be excellent to each other, you silly bitches. Alright, I think that is going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. As always, make sure you go down there and leave a comment. I am very curious to see what you guys have to say for this one. I am fully prepared for this comment section to be an absolute shit show. Just don't be so much of a dick to each other, guys. Like, it's not that hard. I know being a cynical twat is the thing these days, and I understand a lot of it, but it's also really not that hard to just be nice to people. Like, you should try it every now and then. But yes, definitely go down there. Make sure you leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Share the video around. And if you regularly watch my channel and you haven't already subscribed, then I'm gonna find your guitar and I'm gonna carve a big old penis into it. It's gonna be hairy. It's gonna have a big old dick vein. Real quick, I wanna give a big shout out and a thank you to Big Tills, Master Chief, Scott Toman, Leagues Beneath, Jan Chocolate, Bandage Knives, Brandon's Ballast on Corner, Bad Joke Guitars, Rob Heath, Solar Flare, Horse Running, and Cosmic Steez. I did it backwards this time. That was kind of hard. These Heathas are my current channel members and their support really does mean a lot. If you want to join them, get a shout out in my longer videos, get access to the members only videos, and just help this channel in a bigger way, then you can go down there, click the join button. Tiers start as low as 3 schleemies. There's also the super thanks button down there if you just want to give me some money, but I am done being a tool. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Leave now. It's over. Get out of here.